Hello again and welcome to Valenzuela Live. I am Teacher Nina from Tanumay West National High School. Today, we will learn the diversity and evolution of the African music, Latin American music, and popular music. Are you excited? Me too! Now let us have a fun-filled learning experience today in music. Watch our reminder for our online etiquette class. Well, are you ready? Let's start! The competencies today are the following. Analyzes musical characteristics of Afro, Latin, American, and popular music through listening activities. Describes the historical and cultural background of Afro-Latin, American, and popular music. Perform selection of Afro-Latin, American, and popular music in appropriate pitch, rhythm, style, and expression. To have you ready with our lesson today, we will step back a bit to the last episode of our music class. The music of Africa is truly cultural and traditional in nature. We have learned that African music is an integral part of their everyday lives wherein they associate it with almost everything that they do, whether be it in their work, religion, gatherings, and special celebration. African music connects people together. Hence, their music has reached different parts of the world. This time, we will listen to one African spiritual song that was first recorded in the 1920s entitled Kumbaya, which means come by here and stay nearby. This inspiring hymn is heard in many countries of Central Africa and was originally a simple petition to God to come and help those in need. It later became a popular campfire song in scouting camps. Let's listen to the song. Before we start with our lesson, I will be asking you to identify this music, dances, and artists. Just write your answer in the chat box. Let us see if you can recognize them all. It is a social dance that contains elements from the swing dance and hustle, as well as the complex Afro-Cuban and Afro-Caribbean dance forms of pachanga and guachanga. A. Salsa. B. Samba. C. Son. D. Jive. And the answer is A. Salsa. It is the dance form with these steps. A pair would be an embrace, though slightly apart position, with the working of the hips to the fast-slow sequence and often containing cross rhythms. A. Cha-cha, B. Cumbia, C. Rumba, D. Tango. And the answer is C. Rumba. He is the king of pop and the most successful entertainer of all time. A. Justin Bieber, B. Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, letter C, letter D. Ed Sheeran. And the answer is letter C. Michael Jackson. It is the combination of Afro-American forms such as the blues, jump blues, jazz, and gospel music with the western swing and country music. Letter A. Ballad, B. Disco, C. Pop music, D. Rock and roll. And the answer is D. Rock and roll. He is known as the king of Pinoy rap. Letter A. Andrew E. B. Michael B. C. Francis M. D. Glock 9. And the answer is letter C. Francis M. or Francis Magalona. Did you get all the answers right? Wow, that was great. We are all exposed to different musical styles and forms which are affected by different factors or systems. The media, advertisements, music industry, environment, culture, and society. How are you being affected by music? What do you feel as you listen to the music? The music of Africa has also reached different parts of the globe. It all started when a lot of Africans were transported to Latin America for work and had brought and shared their music with them. As we go through our lesson, you will see how the music of Africa fused with the music of Latin America. I bet this is the type of music that we all love to listen to because of their soothing yet danceable beat. The music of Latin America is the product of three major influences: indigenous, Spanish, Portuguese, and African, sometimes called Latin music. It includes the countries that have a colonial history from Spain and Portugal, divided into the following areas of Andean region, Central America, and Caribbean and Brazil. The influences of Latin American music. Indigenous Latin American music. The natives were found to be using local drum and percussion instruments. The indigenous music of Latin America was largely functional in nature, being used for religious worships and ceremonies. Native American Indian music. The ethnic and cultural groups of the principal Native Americans share different, similar, yet distinctive music elements. Songs had a wide range of volume levels. Songs celebrate themes like harvest, planting season, or other important events or occasions of the year. Afro-Latin American music. The African influence on Latin American music is most pronounced in its rich and varied rhythmic patterns produced by drums and various percussion instruments. Euro-Latin American music. The different regions of Latin America adopted various characteristics from their European colonizers. Melodies of the Renaissance period were used in southern Chile and the Colombian Pacific coast. Mixed American music, the result of the massive infusion of African culture, also brought about the introduction of other music and dance forms, such as the Afro-Cuban rumba, Jamaican reggae, Colombian cumbia, and the Brazilian samba. The musical instruments of Latin America. The varied cultures developed in Latin America gave rise to different types of wind and percussion instruments. As with the African continent, Latin Americans' rich history dating back thousands of years to the Aztec, Maya, and other ancient cultural groups understandably generated diverse creative approaches in making music. Where here are the musical instruments of Latin America. Latin America has produced a number of musical genres and forms that had been influenced by European folk music and African traditional music. Some Latin American popular music included the following: Samba. It is a dance form of African origin around 1838, which evolved into an African-Brazilian invention in the working class and the slum districts of Rio de Janeiro, and its lively rhythm was meant to be executed for singing, dancing, and parading in the carnival. Son. It is a fusion of the popular music or canciones songs of Spain and the African rumba rhythms of Bantu origin. Originating in Cuba, it is usually played with the guitar, contrabass, bongos, maracas, and claves. Its most important legacy, its influence to the present-day Latin American music, particularly as the forerunner of the salsa. Salsa. It is a social dance with marked influences from Cuba and Puerto Rico that started in New York in the mid-1970s. Its style contains elements from the swing dance and the hustle, as well as the complex Afro-Cuban and Afro-Caribbean dance forms of pachanga and guaguancó. Vocal dance forms of Latin American music. Latin American music created a variety of forms which have captured the world's attention and have been enthusiastically adopted. Dance forms became popular, especially in the 1960s and the 70s, But the original Latin dance forms have constantly evolved on their popularity, especially in ballroom dancing. Cumbia. It is a popular African courtship dance with European and African instrumentation and characteristics originating in Panama and Colombia. It contains varying rhythmic meters. Tango. It is a foremost Argentinian and Uruguayan urban popular song and dance and remains a 20th century nationalistic Argentinian piece of music that is most expressive. Cha-cha. It is a ballroom dance originated in Cuba in 1953 and was derived from the mambo. The Cuban cha-cha is considered more sensual because it contains polyrhythmic patterns. Rumba. It is a popular recreational dance with Afro-Cuban origin. It is normally used as a ballroom dance where a couple would be in an embrace, though slightly apart, with the rocking of the hips to a fast-slow sequence. Paso doble. It is a theatrical Spanish dance used by the Spaniards in bullfights, which means double step. The dance is arrogant and dignified, where the dancer takes strong steps forward with the heels, accompanied by the artistic hand movements, foot stomping, sharp and quick. Other forms are the following. Bossa Nova. It is the slower and gentler version of the Cuban samba originated in the 1950s. It is the Portuguese term for the new trend. This genre integrates melody, harmony, and rhythm into swaying feel and often is sung in a nasal manner. Antonio Carlos Jobim is the foremost international figure of Bossa Nova, while City Navarro is his Filipino counterpart. Reggae. It is an urban popular music and dance style that originated in Jamaica in the mid-1960s. It is instantly recognizable from the counterpoint between the bass and drum downbeat and the offbeat rhythm section. Bob Marley is the best-known proponent of reggae who hails from Jamaica. Foxtrot. It is a 20th century social dance that originated after 1910 in the USA. This dance had no fixed step pattern, instead borrowing from other dance forms and having a simple forward-backward sequence. Which music did you enjoy the most from our previous lesson? Music of Africa or music of Latin America? Always remember that these two continents may be different, but they are the same in some aspects. Latin American music incorporates African music from people who were transported to the Americas by European settlers, as well as music from the indigenous people of the Americas. Now, you are ready to explore the music genre that you are probably most familiar with, the popular music, which I am sure you want to know more about. Popular music is simply pop music. Literally means music of the populace, which is similar to traditional folk music of the past. It is developed in the 20th century. Pop music generally consists of music for entertainment of large number of people, whether on radio or on live performances. Ballads. Ballads originated as an expressive folk song in narrative verse, usually about love. The word is derived from both medieval French chanson ballade and ballade, which refers to a dancing form. It was used by poets and composers since the 18th century, until it became a slow, popular love song in the 19th century. Today, it refers to a love song to a slightly pop or rock style with the following variation. Blues ballads, a fusion of Anglo-American and Afro-African styles from the 19th century that deals with the anti-heroes resisting authority. Pop standard and jazz ballads, a blues styles built from a single verse of 16 bars ending on the dominant or half cadence, followed by the refrain or chorus part of the 16 or 32 bars in AABA form. Pop and rock ballads, an emotional love song with suggestions of folk music. This style is sometimes applied to strophic or verse-repeating story songs. Some enduring pop standards and jazz ballads include The Man I Love by George Gershwin, Always by Irving Berlin, and In Sentimental Mood by Duke Ellington. Standards. In music, the term standard is used to denote the most popular and enduring songs from a particular genre of style. Its style is mostly in a slow and moderate tempo with a relaxed mood. It features highly singable melodies within the range and technical capacity of listeners. Among the foremost proponents of this style are Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, and Matt Monroe. Rock and roll. Rock and roll is the combination of Afro-American forms such as the blues, jump blues, jazz, and gospel music with the western swing and country music. The lead instruments were the piano and saxophone and were eventually replaced by modern instruments. This form came during the age when electric guitars were supplemented by amplifiers and microphones to raise the volume. Its name is derived from the motion of the ship on the ocean. Rock and roll. The greatest proponent of the rock and roll style was the legendary Elvis Presley. Presley's style was the precursor of the British band known as the Beatles, whose compositions further boosted rock and roll as the favorite genre of the times. Disco. Another form of pop music known as disco rose in 1970s. This type of music pertained to the rock music that was more danceable, thus leading to the establishment of venues for public dancing also called as discos. The term originated from the French word discothèque, which means a library for phonograph records. The disco style had a soaring and reverberating sound rhythmically controlled by a steady beat for ease of dancing, accompanied by strings, horns, electric guitars, and electric pianos or synthesizers. Famous singers of the disco genre include ABBA, Donna Summer, the Queen of Disco, the Bee Gees, and Gloria Gaynor. Pop music. Parallel with the disco era, other pop music superstars continued to emerge. Among them were Diana, Elton John, The Carpenters, Celine Dion, Bruno Mars, and many more. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, is perhaps the most popular solo performer of all time. His 1982 album, Thriller, remains the world's best-selling album of all time. Today's pop music idols include music groups like BTS, Blackpink, Black Eyed Peas, Maroon 5, and One Direction. And solo performers include Adele, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, Rihanna, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, and others. Hip hop and rap. Hip hop is a stylized, highly rhythmic type of music that usually includes portions of rhythmically chanted words called rap. Rap is characterized by the artist speaking along with the instrumental or synthesized beat. It has evolved into the subculture that encompasses music like rapping, DJing, scratching, and beatboxing. Among the hip-hop artists were LL Cool J, Eminem, and Kanye West. In our country, the Philippines, we also have all popular music. We call this as OPM songs. The acronym OPM stands for Original Pinoy Music, which is a genre under contemporary Philippine music. It was originally used to refer to Philippine pop songs, particularly ballads such as those popular after the Manila sound genre in the late 1970s. Artists in the Philippine pop music in 1960s and 1970s include Nora Honor, Pilita Corrales, Eddie Peregrina, and Victor Wood. In the 1970s and 1980s, major commercial Philippine pop music artists were Ricky J. Puno, Ryan Cayabyab, Haji Alejandro, Apo Hiking Society, Nonoy Zuniga, Celeste Legazpi, Freddy Aguilar, Didit Reyes, Imelda Papin, Basil Valdez, and Ray Valera. 1980s to 1990s is regarded as the golden era of Philippine ballads. Other musical artists include Jose Marie Chan, Gary Valenciano, Martin Rivera, Regine Velasquez, Lea Salonga, Francis Magalona, Pops Fernandez, Ogie Alcacid, Joey Albert, Jano Gibbs, and Sharon Cuneta. The famous groups of artists and bands include the Eraserheads, Smoky Mountain, South Border, Actor Image, River Maya, and Parokya ni Edgar, Side A, Cushay, Ben and Ben, and more recently, OPM stars also included Ian Constantino, Sara Geronimo, Isa Seguera, Eric Santos, Christian Bautista, Morissette Amon, and international singer Arnel Pineda. Philippine jazz. Philippine musicians have also been inspired by jazz music. Among them are jazz pianist and recording artist Boy Katindig, who comes from a well-known clan of musicians that includes jazz piano legend Romy Katindig and saxophonist Eddie Katindig. The Katindig family pioneered Latin jazz in Manila. Other notable Filipino jazz musicians include Lito Molina, Angel Peña, Emil Mijares, and internationally known jazz pianist Bobby Enriquez. Philippine rock. The year 1973 saw the birth of Philippine or Pinoy rock music, which successfully merged the rock beat with Filipino lyrics. This new sound was introduced by the legendary Juan de la Cruz Band with the song Ang Hinig Natin. Continuing the legacy of Pinoy rock today are vocal groups and bands that include The Dawn, True Faith, Wolfgang, Bamboo, Parokya ni Edgar, Hale, Sandwich, Sugar Free, Sponge Cola, and others. Philippine alternative folk music. The Philippines also saw the rise of alternative folk music, which was different from the traditional and popular form. This new form combined ethnic instrumentation with electronic accompaniment, while presenting themes or issues of society and the environment. Some of the Filipino composers who championed this style were Joey Ayala, Grace Nono, and Edru Abraham, among other Filipino composers whose styles range from folk to semi-ethnic were Freddie Aguilar, Yoyoy Villame, Florante, Mike Hanupol, and Sampaguita. Pinoy rap. In the Philippines, rap was also made popular by such composers and performers as Francis Magalona, Mga Kababayan Ko, and Andrew E. Humanap Ka ng Pangit. Francis Magalona is also known as Francis M., master rapper and the man from Manila. He is often hailed as the king of Pinoy rap and is considered a legend in the Philippine music community. Magalona was the first Filipino rapper to cross over to the mainstream. He is also credited for having pioneered the merging of rap with Pinoy rock, becoming a significant influence on artists in that genre as well. Other artists of this genre include Michael V., Glock 9, Denmark, Lady Diane, Maskaplan, George Javier, Salbakuta, and Shanty Dope. Now let us have some activity. Are you ready? Let's start. For the first activity, let us see if you can recall this. So answer true or false. The Latin American music is a product of three major influences: Indigenous, Spanish, Portuguese, and African. And the answer is true. Salsa is a fusion of the popular music or canciones of Spain and the African rumba rhythms of Bantu origin. And the answer is false. Number 3. Foxtrot is a social dance which has no fixed step pattern, usually having a simple forward-backward sequence. And the answer is true. Mariachi is the most popular band in Mexico. And the answer is true. Paso Doble is considered as the slower and gentler version of the Cuban samba. And the answer is false. Did you answer all correctly? If you did, then that was great. Now let us have another activity. We can call this the singer and the song. The following are the lyrics of songs that you have heard. Can you identify the title of the song and the singer or artist? Let's start. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. Did you recognize the song? If you answered My Way by Frank Sinatra, then you are correct. That's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready now. Go, cat, go! Does that sound familiar? If you answered Blue Suede Shoes by Elvis Presley, then you are correct. You, you can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. Do you know the song and the singer? If you answer Dancing Queen by ABBA, then you are correct. Have you heard this one? It's close to midnight and something evil's lurking in the dark. If you answered Thriller by Michael Jackson, then you got it right. What about this one? Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night alight. If you answered Dynamite by BTS, then you got it correct. Did you answer all correctly? You did? Then that was great. Let us have this last activity. Identify what or who is being described. Write your answer on the chat box. He is considered as maestro or professor of Philippine pop music who made music like Kay Ganda ng Ating Musika, Araw-Gabi, and Kumukuti-Kutita. And the answer is Ryan Cayabyab. His songs were among the favorites during Christmas season, including songs like Christmas in Our Hearts and A Perfect Christmas. And the answer is Jose Marie Chan. She is considered as the Asia's Queen of Songs. She is known for her signature movement of bending her back while singing. And the answer is Pilita Corrales. This sound was introduced by Wally Gonzalez, Mike Hanopol, Pepe Smith, and Edmond Fortuno, collectively known as the Juan de la Cruz Band. And the answer is Philippine or Pinoy rock. His novelty songs, pop music, and educational songs include Mag-Exercise Tayo, Butchikik, and Philippine Geography. And the answer is Yoyoy Villanueva. Did you answer all correctly? Good job! Now for your performance task, choose any song from Philippine pop music. From its original lyrics, translate, modify, or create your own lyrics. Sing or rap the lyrics you composed. Document your performance in video or audio file format. Upload or submit your video or audio performance to the link that your teacher will provide or any online. If online submissions or the use of gadgets is not possible, you may submit your written outputs to the intended Dropbox in your school. The criteria for best performance are the following. Finally, let us review what we have learned today. The music of Latin America is the product of three major influences: indigenous, Spanish, Portuguese, and African. The varied cultures developed in Latin America gave rise to the different types of wind and percussion instruments. Latin American music created a variety of forms which have captured the world's attention and have been enthusiastically adopted. As it developed in the 20th century, pop music generally consists of music or entertainment of large number of people, whether on radio or in live performances. Various artists in Philippines adopt the pop music. Now let us have the quiz. Write the letter of your answer on the chat box. Number 1. It is a theatrical Spanish dance used in bullfights, which means double steps. Letter A, bossa nova. Letter B, cha-cha. Letter C, foxtrot. Letter D, paso doble. And the answer is D. It is a popular ballroom dance originated in Cuba that was derived from mambo. Letter A, cha-cha. Letter B, cumbia. Letter C, samba. Letter D, tango. And the answer is A, cha-cha. It consists of music for entertainment of large number of people. Letter A, African music. Letter B, pop music. Letter C, original Pinoy music. Letter D, Latin American music. And the answer is B, pop music. It features highly singable melodies within the range and technical capacity of listeners. Letter A, alternative. Letter B, ballad. Letter C, standard. Letter D, rock and roll. And the answer is C, standard. The following are OPM artists during the 1960s, except letter A, Nora Honor, letter B, Pilita Corrales, letter C, Ryan Cayabla, and letter D, Victor Wood. And the answer is Ryan Cayabla, C. Did you get all the answers correctly? If you did, then that was great. I do hope today became a fun-filled learning experience for you. Always remember, if a composer is interested in creating music that will survive, history has made clear that he must compose with the heart of a true artist, expressing the best of life's experiences. Thank you for listening and watching Valenzuela Live. I am Ninian Marquez Nieves. See you next time. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless us all.